airborne sawmill. Chairman, Metwaswa, it is all about today's big game. There were two big games predominantly happening in Europe, which is England versus Brazil and France versus Germany. But let's start with Brazil, because France Germany has a deeper meaning. It's here for I feel some of the best too itchy. So we leave the best for our good listeners. So I'll start with England versus Brazil. Now, Chairman, talking of England versus Brazil, Brazil has always been the dominant side by actually winning 4 times, with England just winning 1. So even though England in many generations have been producing a lot of good players, but yes, still womo ain't me Brazil. Now, talking of this Brazil-England match, Brazil has been a team at this generation, womo talent, has been westernized in terms of womo playing, because we know Brazil to be a samba team where they play beautiful football. That is the core of womo team values, But this time around, womo playing now you're westernized. So talking of Rodrigo, talking of Vinicius Jr., womo free Brazil, eba Europe say omba bebo. Which means say their style of play, has been filtered in a sense. Say womo age samba like football, if womo masisia they play that western side of football. That has always been the edge, and Brazil ahead of the other countries when it comes to football. But now Brazil are very westernized in terms of their play. Brazil has been neutralized by other countries, so it makes this team different dynamics in the ebeko into this match, because now Sabona England ne ebonetete na Brazil more unique, different, they all play the same. Now to go to the on the field matters, I would start with England. Chairman, this game, it would be a game of midfield battle. A game, the midfield trial for England. A factor, a huge factor. A bit to me, ama England a holding game in the fame and win the game. Why am I saying that? The trial of Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, and maybe Phil Foden, because and there almost say Kopama ain't me mbo. So it depends if Gary Southgate ebe gambo. So or gamboa, it means to say he will slot in Kobe Menu. So this midfield trial has a lot to give, a lot of unlimited possibilities, because you can't predict what they can bring in the game. So in this game, I feel the midfield battle for England will determine if England can override Team Brazil. Because in this game, maybe Casemiro might lose out of this game. Maybe Neymar, because in the Brazil national team, Neymar is not a winger, but that creative player behind the striker. So if you want to get the best out of this match, England needs to win that midfield battle. And England has always been very tight when it comes to their defensive duties and midfield play. So today, whether the progression play, the possession play of England, it will be determined by that midfield trial now. Gary Southgate, it be a game no more. So that is one point I feel if Gary Southgate having a writer, a better Kiamano in order to have that edge ahead of Team Brazil. Now, the second one is how England has to attack Brazil. There is this one attacking element. I feel Brazil has always failed to defend very well. In a lot of tournaments, which is the overload to isolate strategy. It is difficult for Brazil to actually defend the overload to isolate strategy, in the sense that they have issues with their flanks. When it comes to their wing forwards coming back, tracking back to support their left backs and right backs in defending, in terms of Brazil elusive ball now transiting from their high press to their low block. When it gets to that area, Team Bia a bit opted with the overload to isolate strategy. Brazil fail to actually defend, because Ebanesana, their awareness, how their body shapes, in terms of full backs, it defending in this kind of situation very poor. So I feel it is one area. If England, one more tactical team, is able to identify, they can hit to Brazil for defense. Now moving straight to Brazil, Brazil under this new manager, they have actually adapted, or they are trying to bring that samba bonana me air cano in the beginning of my introduction. Say a fading out from the Brazil national team no, he's trying to actually bring it back. He started it from Fluminense, which has been one of the hub of Brazil for transition in terms of getting players, quality players that they can replicate that quality football Nana Brazil Ebono. Now, looking at this young coach who is trying to influence the squad of Brazil, no, he's playing a fluid relationalism football compared to the positional football now, the Western side for no Ebo or the European side in Ebo. No. In talk of positional play, no, it is simple. That is 3 players can't be on a vertical channel and 3 players can't be on a horizontal channel at the same time. There is always positional superiority. But this is a Brazil side with this coach. He likes to play with that relationalism. Talking of relationalism, it all has to do with field tilts. You can't field tilts. And they say on the field of play, you could see say so we check pitch no from one pole to the other. We check say bilaterally. When we say on the left hand side, there are a lot of players shifted to that side than the other side. Tactical terms, so we call it the asymmetrical system. So the asymmetrical system is equivalent to the relationalism football. Then the symmetrical system is equivalent to the positional play football. So in this game, it is going to be the asymmetrical system versus the symmetrical system. And here one thing I feel say if Brazil is fluid enough, they can also punch through the defense of Team England, even though England has always filled their team with a strong defense, because their strong defense is the base of Gary Southgate teams be open managing, and that is one point I feel say Ebeboa Team Brazil to actually override Team England. I've talked about how tight they are supposed to be in terms of their defensive mechanism, because one thing they be a fairly Brazil in terms of some Lucy Born. Apart from that high press, I feel say there are a lot of work Brazil has to do when it comes to their mid block and low block. And the last one for Brazil, then I move to France. When it comes to that emergency defense, I feel say a lot of teams are failing in that area. When Womu Lucy Bono to the low blocks, they leave everything to their last line of defense. No, Brazil needs to give more, and that is one thing. England is superb when they transit to the low block. Now they utilize that emergency defense, which gives extra security to their goalkeeper Pickford. Into the Pickford on considerable when he's wearing that England shirt. But Brazil needs to replicate that, because and then it is not their first goalkeeper who is going to be imposed, not their second goalkeeper going to be imposed. It will be their third goalkeeper, so he needs that extra security inside the 18-yard box. Now, Chairman, France, Germany. Quickly now. Senior Messi it has been one relationship. It is more than football. Let me tell you the reason, Chairman. We call something the Franco-Prussian War. Talking of the Franco-Prussian War, it existed in 19th July 1870 to the 10th of May 1871. In this era, Germany dominated and ended hegemonia continental Europe. How France were dominant on the other countries. It took Germany to actually end that, and it unified Germany in that domain. Moving away from that political existence, now either France ni Germany in terminal. Whenever Le Bleu in the likes of France, Asia, the mind there, a mind chance there, side of Germany, it becomes a tough match, because always France want to replicate that thing. They say, even though Munamo end the era, but this time around, when it comes to football, we will fight through football. That has been what France are. They be a Germany, they keep doing. So moving on to the field of play, tactically, what I feel said, if Germany and France do it right, it might give us some good football and some interesting results for investors and good lovers of football. Now, looking at this match, Chairman, I'll start with the big test for Germany. Now, Julian Nagelsmann needs to restore that integrity for Germany again, because Germany are still in the rebuilding phase. After Womu wins our World Cup, coming down, it hasn't been that right for Germany. So Nagelsmann announces, and now he's willing to work with any big club after this Euros. Needs to affirm his faith to say he's still that man to do any job a big boys ever. So in this match, I feel say it is going to be a game of superiority. And talking of superiority, we have 3 types of superiority, which is the positional superiority, the numerical superiority, and the qualitative superiority. So in this game, why I'm saying it's a big game of superiority, they say Le Bleu with DJ Deschamps ahead this team, always goes into the game with qualitative superiority because he has quality everywhere in terms of the attack. So whatever Le Bleu will do in this game, will be rest assured on that qualitative superiority. In the like I said, if we have Kylian Mbappe going up against Germany for left backer, and they feel say or break over the left hand side wall and the right hand side of Germany defense weaker, he will move Kylian Mbappe to that side, meaning he always needs to cancel out that qualitative relation, in order to give that advantage to Team France. That is one thing I've seen DJ Deschamps keep doing in every game, because right from that transition from N'Golo Kante and Paul Pogba, he needs to stick with that qualitative superiority compared to simplicity of playing or the team ebono. Now on the side of Germany with their superiority, Nagelsmann is a coach. He believes in numerical superiority. And talking of numerical superiority on the side of Nagelsmann, one key thing, there be a show in the strategy, adaptation. He first adapts to the opponent, then he can replicate what he wants to do to the opponent. So in this case, adaptation would be key for Germany, and adapting to France. This swift attack, one thing, a gamble if Julian Nagelsmann used that strategy. So numerical superiority in the sense of overload, one thing, see Germany to actually survive in this game against Team France. And yes, our part in so many aspects. So today I feel say Nagelsmann versus DJ Deschamps would be a lovely game. Team Brazil versus England. I feel say this game, England has that edge to actually win the game. But we are in a modern world where football improving so much, so we actually can't stick where ebe winning against we and Bibisa. So we leave it to the football god to judge at the end of the day.
Okay, and Ghanaian tactician and wapapa and seminum edia guru. Yao the super legend. And Watten and Cano. But I'll say Gareth Southgate, Manchester United.